5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
I don't think the Jamal Khashoggi thing was that bad, but no one gives a shit. Yes, don't adjust your setting. A change to the regular programming. Yes, it's a Thursday night show as we were busy being a set of nerdy fanboys drinking a bar dry last night. More on that later, I'm sure. Yes, this is the Scarf Bagara War, your weekly recommended dose of chat pertaining to Stockport County. If you don't know the drill by now, well, you never will. You'll get the hang of it though. One day we might. Let's see. Joining me, Nick Lee, it's a man who had to be forcibly removed from his fucking up the bar at Stockport Gin last night. The settling in period has gone well, and now he's an established member of the first team squad. It's Waggy. Hello, mate.
I do. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right now. It wasn't too bad this morning. Thought it might have been a little bit more hungover, but all good.
Yeah, after we disappeared into the Stockport night in the hope we could go and have a little nightcap, and then everywhere was closed on us, despite Google saying it's open. I'm looking at you, Ben Taylor. I'll be having words. I was livid about that. Absolutely livid. Should have just gone to Wetherspoons.
Should have just gone to Wetherspoons. Yeah.
Yeah. I see we've both got the branded polos on as well. Yeah. It's like someone turned up at Stockport Gin in the car park last night and just opened the boot and just went, t-shirts. Like, yeah, we'll all have one. We are joined tonight by friend of the show, Will Howells. Hello, Will.
Hello. How is
Evening.
everybody?
Very much. You've passed a late fitness test, I'd say.
No.
It's more like it got to 6 o'clock and I was like, oh shit, we need another person.
Yeah, passing a fitness test at the moment is not likely. Not in great shape.
No, none of us are, mate. None of us are. No. Least of all, Jamal Khashoggi, as we learned last night, to zero fanfare whatsoever. I am not letting that go. That was a funny joke. It punched up. It didn't punch down. It was just, and you know what? Someone's going to ask, and someone's going to say, well, are you going to say what it is? I'm not. No, they didn't deserve it last night, and they definitely don't deserve it tonight.
You did say last night you was going to say it again tonight.
No, I don't think I will now. I've had time to stew on it.
That's entirely up to you. There will be no pressure.
I had a little bit of a bear/sore head scenario going on this morning, so it's just exacerbated things. And no, sorry, not telling him. The joke wasn't on him though, so it was fine. It definitely deserved. It's almost like a room full of professional footballers is not the place for that, really. But I digress. Anyway, we have got a special guest tonight previewing Saturday's game. He's an old hand at this thing now. He does his own podcast and he's probably better than us at coming on air as well. I think he must be tied with Ben Walker possibly for the amount of appearances, which is we need to form a proper list. If we had a Wikipedia page, we could have the lists of appearances on there, but no one really cares enough to do a Wikipedia, do they?
You need somebody with the level of nerdery of the Taskmaster fans to do a spreadsheet. You know.
I think it's me then. I think I'm the one who's
Surely there's somebody watching right now who could go back through the archives and compile how many people.
That person out there is there. I don't want to meet them. Really don't want to. No, I would like to party with that person. Anyway, let's get our guest out. How are we doing, Alex? All right, mate.
Can I ask, you've got your uniform now, Nick. Do you, when you were doing your thing yesterday, did you tell everyone that was wearing it that they're representing the podcast and they must behave as such? Like you do on a school trip?
Russ was the only one who turned up wearing one. And
That's true.
and
That is true.
Waggy was the one who needed to be reminded who he was representing, to be honest.
Have you got anything on the back? I hope it's got some sort of stag do feel to it.
Yeah, I've got the
No.
pussy man on mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still clinging
Which
on
is
to
also
Nick's
ironic,
Hot Girl
nickname.
Summer.
Played for Bristol, did it?
It's not Hot Girl Summer anymore. I've officially declared it to an end now.
Yeah, you
It's,
just called there's a new one yet, though.
Cold Girl Winter.
Cold Girl Winter.
Imaginative.
We've got a nightclub
Yeah.
in Grimsby
I wonder
called
where
that.
we got that from.
What we're going to do, I'm going to ask you the first question, Alex, and then you're going to have to carry on answering it until I've switched microphones over. So I've gone for the lapel microphone, but
I
apparently
thought that
have
was
not
quite
been properly heard. Some say it's an improvement that you can't hear me very well, but I will plug a microphone in. So, Alex, we'll kick us off. How's the season going so far? Then I'm sensing a
Right.
bit of disharmony this season, so that should take us up until about 8:45. Quick on, mate.
Yeah, so I said on the podcast last Sunday that Paul Hurst was talking out of his arse, which he usually doesn't, and it resulted in a 5-page slagging off of me on our forum, which was quite fun.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was entertaining. But yeah, we're shit. We've won 3 games all season. We're just boring. We are just terrible, and I don't know why, because we've got Camille Conte is one of the best midfielders we've had for a long time. So just keep Challoner away from him, and there we go. Time it. What is that? But, we're just terrible. We're so blunt. It's like watching Weymouth. They were like every crappy non-league team we play that's quite pretty, but they keep the ball all right, and you go, actually, these guys aren't terrible, and then they've got nothing up front apart from one bloke who can score a free kick, and we just give it to Abu Issa on after 40 yards and go, go on then, kick it, just have it, and that's our game plan, and it's not working very well, and we are 18th.
Do you think that is due to like the recruitment or anything? What's changed from last season? You got rid of a load of players, or
we did get rid of a couple, but the problem is I don't know, like looking at all the so-called experts out there who pay more attention to all the other clubs than I do, like Grimsby are dark horses and stuff. I was getting slightly excited because we had the FA Cup money. I mean, it's pocket change to you and the likes of, but we're like, oh, we can actually buy someone half decent, but it's still quite a trek to it's quite a challenge to persuade someone to move to Grimsby. You can pull out as many prospectuses as you can, but we can't really do a Barrow and just go, right, we'll just train in Manchester and we'll just do a 2-hour journey over to the Penites. Nick, your sound is even terrible now.
You're actually muted, Nick. Yeah.
Professional.
There it is.
Yeah, this is my tool. Yeah, you should do what Middlesbrough did in the mid-90s, where when they were splashing the cash and signing these players from abroad, they'd fly them out to London, take them around London, and then go.
We do it now. We just take them to Stockport.
This industrial hellscape. All right.
Hey,
You'll be loving Stockport on Saturday when you come away with a win.
Yeah.
all those drowned rats on the other end of the pitch that you're laughing at.
That won't be you. That'll be more county fans. You're in the
yeah.
pop
No,
side.
you've got
You're in the pop
You're
side
in
with
the
them.
railway end now.
Are we? Because I know we've sold out because there's nothing else to do. There's no like steam fair on or anything, so we've all got to get the train. So I didn't know where we were. So all right, you've got that, have you?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we do nowadays.
Oh,
They
is
don't
it?
generally put the away fans in the railway end. They try and keep that for home fans.
Some groups of away fans took the news better than others. Looking at you, Wrexham.
Why didn't they like it?
While we're on that subject, the away end at Edgeley Park has been 2 blocks of the pop side for about 2 decades now. The railway end has always been overspill. It just happens that now we're more likely to spill home fans in there than away fans, which is great for us. But the away end has been the pop side for 2 decades.
Yeah, I remember we had that when did we draw with you in the FA Cup forever ago? and we had that side as well, and it was still terracing back then.
Yeah, we've been late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, and we had that side, and then we had the railway end as well. And every time we go to Stockport, though, it just rains. It's it's one of the stereotypes that you keep going up. I'm really proud of you for that.
Well, having looked outside, I think it's quite likely.
Generally rains and you get 3 points.
Yeah, but at least we used to get the warmth of the TV screen on the back of our necks. At least, we've all got a tumor now, though, in our occipital lobe. But
that's still lighting Grimsby up.
give it a few weeks, we could be twinned with Chernobyl, I think.
Some poor bloke, that scene where that poor guy and his skin's falling off. That was the first guy that ever got a season ticket in the railway end, is it?
even like at top tier of the Cheadle end, right opposite it, the Bradford game earlier this season, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, it was that scene in Oppenheimer, when he first sees the blast and he's got the goggles on. That's what I imagine the first guy to turn that on is in the mornings.
Exactly. Yeah. I walked past last night and they were doing the test on the scoreboard and stuff like that, and I was like, shit, that's bright. That's really bright.
Or is it like, what was that one with the Champions League when they had themselves 4-0 down against Bayern Munich? Are you so negative about playing us? You had a quick peep and it said, we're 5-0 up.
Just seeing how high the away column goes. The score.
We did a charity game once at Blundell Park. And the guy, I was stood with the guy who was doing the score, but he goes, we've never checked to see if this goes up to double figures. I go, did you not see us play in 2009? You should have checked back then.
Oh God! So, in terms of obviously, I've been looking on your forums and on social media and stuff like that.
Why
and
would you do that? I don't even do that.
I'd get sick of looking at ours.
Is everyone slagging you off?
Yeah.
No one slags me off on ours anymore.
Anymore.
Anybody stop now. So what was the aim at this? Did anyone come out from the club at the start of the season and say what the aim was for this season?
No, it's just general progression. Yeah, I guess so. The owners are quite smart, and I think I always saw this coming because it's the first season I think ever that Paul Hurst has known 2 or 3 months before the end of last season what league we would be in, because either we were fighting in the playoffs in the National League or that was that season we got relegated. So he's got that. He's got the cup money. He's got the basis of a half decent side together. So I think the expectations were to be closer to the playoffs, because we finished 10th, but we were 9-11 points, I think, off the last spot. So I think
playoffs aren't for everyone, guys.
No,
they very good for Carlisle.
Yeah.
Just for random teams in blue from the northwest. Is that what it is? Is that what you're hoping?
No, don't want to
Barrow now. When we went to Barrow last season, everyone got norovirus from the local Wetherspoons, and it was all over the news. So all our town fans not only have to go all the way up to Barrow on an away day, which, by the way, is the most. Did you go? Because it counts as a local derby for you guys, doesn't it?
I've been to Barrow enough times. I've been enough times in non-league that there's several grounds that I went to in non-league that I said, right, I don't need to go there again. Salford's another one. I've not been to Salford since we're in non-league because
really
don't need to. If I wanted to go to Barrow, I'd just sit at home and watch Stranger Things instead. To be honest, same vibe. Sorted.
They were all
horrible place. yeah. Genuinely one of the worst places. And there's a bit of. I had no problem with them being one of the clubs that got back into the Football League because they've obviously got a long history in the Football League. It's been too long having them out of it. And in a weird way, it is like a nice little throwback of a ground. But it's the fact that you have to go to Barrow to get to the ground. If they relocated the ground like they have done with the training, I'd be all for it. If they put it like near Warrington or something. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Warrington have got a lovely stadium. They don't really use it for rugby league that much over the winter. So, there you go. Sorted. Barrow sorted. They've got loads of nuclear stuff there. They'll feel right at home.
Give me 6. So, in terms of Saturday's game, what's the general feeling amongst your fan base with the game this Saturday then? Because obviously you do normally get a result against us.
So I think most people have conceded that we'll probably lose. So everyone's going into it with a bit of a we've got nothing to lose. We'll just have a free hit. So I was watching back the game when we played you last season. We're just nowhere near that team, and it's just the aggression, the pace, the assertiveness. It's just not there. Ponderous in possession. We'll have the ball for quite a lot of the time, but I mean, you guys might as your centre backs might as well just play a bit of Scrabble, because we won't do anything with it. We've got Danny Rose up front. Do you know what? It's nice to have a bit of a shit house up front. We don't really have one usually, but he's 5'3", and they just keep crossing the ball into him. What are you doing? Who's playing Championship Manager?
Very familiar.
You can't mow.
At the start of the season.
Okay.
No, at the start of the season we were doing that, and then as soon as we stopped, that's when we've 7 wins in a row in the league, 8 in all competitions.
Yeah, thanks,
but
mate. Yeah.
With a game against you around the corner, you just mind you. I said last home game we were all set up for a fall, and then we got a late winner. So you never know. Have there been any standout players then? Obviously, the boy Camille, who was probably the most impressive signing of the window in this league for me. I was very surprised at that.
Yeah, we got a few. I just look back, and if we'd had won our last 8 games, it takes us back to March. So that says something, I guess.
Going well then.
But so Abu Issa, who used to played at Bradford last year, then played at Scunny. Yeah. Really talented, can come off the inside and will smash it in from 35 yards out. That apparently is our game plan. And so he's great. Malarkey on the right, who was what was he playing for? I think he was playing for Accrington last year. He's been a really good signing. But Camo Conte is head and shoulders above absolutely everyone. When you just got a player that's just, he's so good he's shit, because he's trying to play passes for people that are just nowhere in his. It's like if I was playing with Alan Poughton, it just wouldn't work, because he's passing it 5 yards in front of me and go, I can't run that fast.
Again, just sounds eerily familiar to players we've had in the past like that. It was a weird one, because I think we were linked with him at one point in the summer.
When you got enough,
and then there was. Well, yeah. I mean, at the time we didn't think we did, but it turns out we've got a weird thing going on at the moment where, when we had this terrible start to the season, we were playing like we had a target man up front when we hadn't had one available since February or March, and we're still. So the general feeling coming up to deadline day in August, I think the majority of our fans were saying, right, we need a focal point up front, because if we're going to play like this, we need a target man. And now that we've changed system and we're scoring freely and winning games, there's people like making little digs, saying, "Oh, people said we needed a striker." It's like, yes, but we fucking did. We did.
Yeah,
that was the point. We did, and we've changed. It's got to be all black or white. It winds me right. Well, I think I went off on it. That's the best way life can be. Let's be entirely honest, Nick. Just black or white the whole time. Life is so much better. We're the same. We just don't have a. We also, I think we were kind of hoping out to get Armstrong from Harrogate, because weren't we all, mate? Weren't we all?
It was like, he looks like a Viking, so he'll settle in Grimsby fine, and we're slightly bigger than Harrogate, so even we can, And then it came out that MK Dons had bid like $500,000 for him. We're like, well, we're out of that. We're not having that. What's the point in that? $500,000 on some bloke who scored and from all reports from Harrogate fans, he's not that great. He's just their main guy, where 90% of the ball goes through him. So it's like, well, what chance do we have? So we rummage around the bargain bin, because who have Wrexham got that's not even in their team that I would take in a heartbeat? Is it Waters?
Yeah, they got Waters.
Halifax.
I would take him. Yeah, I'd take him in a heartbeat, and he would be loved here. He wouldn't even be, and he always gets on Welcome to Wrexham as well, because it always ends quite nicely, those series, from what I've watched of them.
First one was great.
The start of this one was brilliant as well. Loved the trailer. Just Luke Waterfall shouting "fuck off" at Paul Mullins. It's brilliant.
That's all you wanted. I've actually not. I've only watched the first 3 of this series, but I'm not.
Same.
And I'm not. I mean, maybe because I'm not hanging on for County featuring in it and for their playoffs. maybe it's that. Maybe the fact that but there just doesn't seem to be any real narrative to it. They seem to be jumping about quite a lot. So it's kind But I think they've got 2 more series to come. Yes, very much so. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah,
isn't he amazing? Well, he's got the fastest car, and he was a bit of a prick at the beginning, so no one really likes him that much. But it's just a bit weird, isn't it? We've got a documentary coming out. Apparently, I don't know who we've sold that to. Is there like a discount Prime or something? What's like? If we sold it to like Blockbuster or something, I don't know. But
beyond one of them weird things where you sign up to Amazon Prime thinking you're going to get all the TV shows, and then you go onto Prime Video and there's all these other added ones like Stars and Paramount.
Yeah.
It's like I'm paying for Prime. What do you want from me? And they
you
always
sound like,
put something really.
You sound like every 11-year-old child outside a Lidl.
Oh God, my nephew's obsessed with that stuff.
Is it still going?
Yeah,
I thought it was just like I thought it was like a flash mob or something, some kind of big prank.
Well,
I think that about most things that the young people are into, to be honest.
What's all these little Noz things going around? Look at these borrowers trying to do Fast and Furious. It was the was it Luke and Pete who do the football ramble? They said that they wanted all the dads to start drinking Prime just to really ruin the reputation of it. just hanging around.
I started I started calling it Pre-May just to annoy my nephew. I'm like, oh, so you've got yourself another bottle of Pre-May? He's like, it's Prime. I was like, no, it's Pre-May. It's foreign. It's Pre-May. And yeah,
from Primark.
It's best that he hates me now rather than when he grows up to.
Well, when have you started taking him to Stockport games?
I took him to a friendly against Fleetwood a couple of years when he was like 3, and he wanted to go after like 25 minutes, and so did I, in all honesty. So it worked out all right. But he's got
put Peppa Pig on, and you're both fine.
Yeah, we bloody. I love Peppa Pig, mate. So
Bluey, it's all about Bluey now.
Oh yeah, I know. I've not delved into. Well, yeah, Bluey was a very different thing in my day. I used to have to go to the ice cream van for that. But it's. I don't know. He got a kit at the start of the season. He got the shirt, the new home shirt, and he's been wearing it all the time. And then my sister got him the shorts as well. So he's already a full kit wanker.
My you guys will hate this. My lad started liking Haaland, and then so he's like, I bought him a dodgy Chinese Man City shirt. You can tell it's because it's not got Puma logo on it.
Is it upside down? Does it look like a goat or something?
No, it's not county official merchandise. It's county official merchandise when the badge is upside down.
It says it's Puma upside down, so it just says a mud, and that and a dead cat on its back. But
he's got Highland on the back.
House of Holland. That's a Grimsby reference. But yeah, and my dad. Well, I was up in Grimsby, so I said to my dad, "Oh, can you take him to the Tin Pot game because they'll play Man City?" And Town drew with them, so now he just assumes because he's dumb that we're as good as Man City. So he's turned back to the dark side. It's brilliant.
I feel like he's putting you down there. Like, you're better than Man City. It's okay. We're
morally speaking.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Haaland on a loan deal for a couple of weeks. Just
who was it that tried to sign him on? They did like, them little shit. Oh, I think it's like Ashton United or someone. They tried to get him on loan during the World Cup because he was just kicking around the training ground on his own. Yeah. Oh, sod. Like, oh yeah, and then everyone else started doing it as well. It's that school of football banter where if you see an article about Ryan Giggs, you have to comment and go, "Where's his brother's wife?" It's like, yeah, it's been done, mate. It's been done. At least be creative with it. But it's been done to death.
You can't talk about her like that, Nick. That's terrible. That's disgusting.
Oh God! Right. Before we let you go and cause chaos elsewhere, Alex,
we have another one of these little Panda Pop things that I found in here. I don't know how long they've been in here for.
I mean, they'll just get more for at least 10 years now.
Look, they're amazing.
More potent with time.
God. That's a blast from the past. Them things.
Shall we start instead of Prime? We've got to get kids onto these things again.
Yeah, you have to turn it upside down and chew the bottom though, and drink it that way.
Correct.
Open the top.
Correct.
Yeah.
How the beer chugging started.
Yeah. Chug.
My local shop, when the shop we used to get off when we got off the bus after school, there's little newsagents there, and in the summer they put them in the freezer. So you'd have like a big block of flavoured ice. Yeah, that was. Then people started throwing them at the buses, and they broke a window.
Did your corner shop used to have like some scissors behind the counter as well, so that when you got one of the little pop, one pass, brilliant.
I got done for taking it. Yeah. This has just turned into a Peter Kay stand-up set.
Remember barracks?
What was that about?
I did want to take my very Surrey wife to Netto, but there's just none anymore. I can't find it. I have to take her to Farm Foods instead. That's the closest I can get to sort of that experience.
Now, at school, I got given a Netto bag once to put my football boots in for PE, and I got laughed at. Nowadays, Aldi and Lidl are the places to be. You can get away with it now.
Could you imagine nowadays, like Copper and stuff, all those weird ones where they'll have a 1986 Stockport County shirt for £7,000. Like, they'd love a Netto bag. Like, you imagine how much that would go for. Isn't there
genuinely, yeah.
Yeah. So there would be a picture, isn't there? That really weird fashion brand which goes for is it like Gabachi or something? I don't know what it's called.
Balenciaga.
That's it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Series C football team, and you can imagine them like that in like a town shirt from the 90s. We had one that looked like AC Milan's, and then just a Netto bag, and it would be like £15,000. Sorry, what did you want to ask me about?
They do these things that are like, it's like a high-vis coat. And you're paying like £3,000 to look like you're working on the railways. It's mental.
Screwfix is doing a killing.
Like, yeah, they're loving it. Like £50 sorted, mate. Like, before we let you go, mate, I hate asking this question because it's just.
I don't like. Is it about guessing what the score's going to be?
Yeah, prediction for Saturday then. How many are you winning by?
I don't even think we'll. God, just the confusion in our forums and on social media would be hilarious, just to not understand, because there's quite a militant, it's a bit Wenger-esque now, at the end where it was, Wenger in, Wenger out every week. It's kind of the same thing. So I'm reckoning it's going to be, shall we go for full entertainment? It's going to be 0-0. No one's going to do anything. And then someone's going to ironically set off a Mexican wave, which will start a riot.
I'm in.
I'd be all right with that.
That's worth my ticket price, yeah. Absolutely fine with that, yeah. I mean, if you're going to start a Mexican wave, then a riot is probably.
And what I really hope, Nick, is someone's going to take one of these frozen and then throw it at the TV screen.
That's it. 900 Grimsby fans are getting them frozen, and they're just going to launch them all.
You can't take a bottle top in. You can have them frozen, but you can't take a bottle top in.
Just the idea it's unseasonably warm and they've all just got really wet trousers now because it's melted in their pockets. Everybody's, I'm really sticky.
Is it that normal for Grimsby fans?
Oh, well, at least there was.
If the sisters are in town.
When we beat Southampton, we had a commentator. It's an incredible moment. And she goes, "Oh, they're smelling a cup upset, or it could be fish." She's like, "Is that what we get? You get Preeta Jury doing like, this is the night of Olympians and champions." And we just got some woman on it from Matchday going, "They smell of fish, don't they?" It's like, well, not anymore. We ain't got that.
Brexit sorted that.
It'd be like going, don't these people in Sheffield smell of coal? No, because that industry died years ago. Thanks.
Cheers, Maggie.
Yeah, thanks. Ow, ow, ow. And that's what the real problem with the BBC is.
See, that's what I would have said in a cold open. I'd love to start a cold open with that, and that's the problem with the BBC.
What is your definition of a terrorist here on the Bulgara War shirt scarf thing podcast? Anyone
who disagrees with me is on the domestic terrorist watch list. Anyone who didn't laugh at my Jamal Khashoggi gag last night,
they said that in the UN
watch list. Eddie Howe, he's on there.
He's
Anyone
well
in the
bought. He's a
neighbourhood.
dark one, isn't he? He's the one in a ITV documentary that killed the kids. Like when it's revealed after a 6-part TV series. The Marv
Sheridan
Man and Eddie
Smith
Howe.
playing him.
Yeah, Sheridan.
Sheridan Smith is Eddie Howe.
Do you know what? That'd be not a bad casting choice, really, would it? It would be the really big bloke that one gets a hard on over. Who's the one that Mike Tyndall or whatever? He's a rugby player, and he was not a rugby player. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a rugby player who's married to the royal family. Not married to the whole royal family, but just one.
Well, some would
Puts
suggest.
himself about a bit.
yeah. So does Prince William, if the rumours are true. Right, before we get too libelous, let's let Alex go. Alex, it's been a pleasure.
I live near Pizza Express in Woking. Do you want me to take a photo? You used to have a ZZZ. Do you?
Yeah.
I am in Ash.
I'm in Walton-on-Thames, so I think you're slightly closer. I think you are slightly closer.
I mean, I could have gone down the darkest joke and I'll message Nick it. But there was something that started in Walton-on-Thames and then ended over here. And you'll need to Google that because it is very unsavoury.
Can you
Was it the manhunt for a serial killer?
Yes.
Brilliant. That's my type of Wikipedia.
I'm curious now because I thought I knew everything about this sordid town.
Millie Dowler.
Oh,
I mean, you didn't have to say it.
Yeah,
she was taking
literally
Walton.
I
Sorry,
walked,
Nick.
You have to. I regularly walk down the road she was abducted from. Regularly.
What, in Hope?
Yeah, maybe I'll be the one to find her.
After every defeat.
I think he is single. He's all right.
Just takes defeats really badly.
Take me. No, I probably shouldn't joke about this. I have friends at school who were really good friends with her.
Yeah.
She was my age. So yeah, kind of. I walked past the crossroads.
Enjoy titling this one, Nick.
That night. Oh god.
Khashoggi versus Dowler.
Go back to your Khashoggi joke.
I mean, never thought I'd say this, but seeing as we need to lighten the mood a bit, here's what I said. Here's my Jamal Khashoggi joke. All I said was, so I was doing cultural references for the period we were talking about. I said in October 2016, Jamal Khashoggi was killed at the Saudi embassy in Istanbul, but it's all right because people like Eddie Howe, don't they? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It wasn't even laughing at him.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not your best
deserve
joke,
more.
Nick.
He deserved a round of applause, but I'm not getting one off him, am I? So, famously, right, Alex. It's been a pleasure. It was all going well.
Enjoy that email.
Yes. We will see you for our inevitable FA Cup second round.
Yeah. These are the terrorists I find offensive in order.
Oh, I want them in order. I want a full-on countdown. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See you all later. Enjoy your promotion. See you later.
See
you later. Look a turn, didn't it?
I didn't see it coming.
You're going to say something then? Not doing it. Knew it. Not gonna say what I was about to say then. Let's move on.
It's fine. The words came out of my mouth and I immediately regretted them. So I think I went in the same. Yeah. This will lighten the mood. I just got a rejection from a short film I auditioned for, but it was a very nice rejection. So.
Oh, that makes it so much better.
Yeah. I like being told I'm talented. So, like, if you want to just reject me, just tell me you think I'm talented, and then I'll just.
That's the same as I get off the women.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same sort of rejection I get. Yeah. It's like
you're very talented.
You are. You're great. You're a nice guy. You're witty. You're funny. I like your sense of humour. I think you're cool.
But you're a twat.
It's just not for me. You just knock me a bit sick. To be honest.
Matt Bryan in the comments went where we refused to go.
Thank you, Matt Bryan. Always a pleasure. Not putting that comment up. Hey, let's cheeky bit of admin, and then we'll get on to tomorrow. So half of the details for our Christmas do are out there if you are a subscriber on Patreon. £3 a month gets you early access to an ad-free audio version of these weekly episodes, gets you the Courtyard Club call, gets you our bonus podcast, which we are getting round to next week, myself and Ben. We're at home Saturday, so Geordie Hatter's Away Day show will be 2 weeks on Saturday, next Saturday away game. What else have we got? Let's have a quick chat about last night, shall we? So obviously myself and Ben were hosting the 2019 Champions celebration at Stockport Gin. I'd say a very good night was had by all. Two highlights for me. Well, three highlights for me. Russ put in a podcast tab behind the bar for us to all get drinks, all on the beers, and then Waggy decides to get himself a double gunpowder gin and tonic.
It was a single.
Was it just a single? All right,
It was
just a single.
that's only like two. That's only like £2 more than the beers.
I did get permission off the head teacher before I actually ordered it.
Another highlight was when we were all stood propping up the bar before it all begun, and then the players arrived, and it was just full on school disco vibes. Like us at the bar, and then all the cool kids.
Players at the other.
Yeah, just going like, oh, do you think I should go and talk? I said that to someone. I was like, should I go and talk to him? It's like, well, you will be for like 2 hours in a minute, so you probably should now. Yeah, but I thought it was a wonderful evening. It was good to. I almost didn't want to get them up on stage because they were clearly all having such a good time chatting away to each other.
Yeah, you could tell that they were still like close knit, weren't they? They say because we've still got WhatsApp groups and everything where they're all chatting to each other and stuff. So yeah,
apart from Darren Stevenson, because he departed very early on to go and he was the first one to arrive. We took him over to where the stage area was, told him how it was going to work when we were getting him on, and then he just disappeared because he had a basketball match and he didn't realise the evening would go on that long. I don't know what he expected. But he's gone down in my estimation now.
Wow.
I mean, Sam Walker came from Kings Lynn to come up. But yeah, very good. Got some good insight. Some very good insight from Jim Gannon and from the players. It's just the inside. So and I think we managed to ask some questions that haven't been asked. So we got some new insight. Yeah. No, we didn't ask Jim Gannon about the skybox.
It was it was good because it's like obviously Ben knowing or just holding that much information that it was like there was a couple of times where he mentioned like, oh yeah, and obviously you came on and you scored this goal, and you could see the player was like, did I? And it was just like, what? It was just some of the absolute like minute detail that he knows about. I mean, generally about Stockport, about County, but for that season, he was just like say, and it was good because the way that he did it was he went from the beginning. Well, he did a bit of a prelude, didn't he, to build up to that season of where we were, where we'd been, where we were going, and then just like went through the season and brought different people up at different times throughout that season. I thought it was really good. It was absolutely brilliant.
Cool. Different way of doing it. I think that was what we wanted to go for. I kind of wanted to do it a bit.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I mean, he still got his shirts out every so often, didn't he? But it wasn't like previously sort of concentrated more on the shirts than I think on the players possibly. But I think because it was a review of the whole season, I thought it went really, really well.
Yeah, got it all covered, and there'll be more of that sort of thing coming up. I think we're going to be collaborating with the co-op again in future. So yeah, big thanks to the Stockport County Supporters Cooperative for organising that, to Paul and Cheryl at Stockport Gin as well for just serving. And it got to a point where after it had finished, a lot of people left. There was people still hanging around getting pictures and what have you. And then the players left, and then there was still like a collective of people just still there at the bar. Paul and Cheryl are still there now, just still like serving up.
It would be if we were still there.
Yeah, well, no, that's true. Kind of drunk it dry. But yes, we that is little sneak peek of the information for the Christmas do. That is where our Christmas do will be. We will be in that upstairs room at Stockport Gin, and we've got nice little panel show thing going on with Ben Walker hosting, me and Russ as team captains, Waggy on Russ's team. We're going to do a coin toss for who's going to have Sam and Liam. Seeing as my main objective for the evening is going to be to annoy Russ, to ruin Russ's Christmas. So I'm not bothered who I've got on my team. It's fine. But yeah, so keep an eye on the subscriber stuff on the Patreon, because subscribers get first dibs. I think we're going to do free tickets for that. Free tickets on the understanding that it's going to be a boozy night. So you will be expected to spend money on the bar. I think that's fair enough. It's Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you going to film it? You could do like
I don't know.
A big fat quiz of the year style thing.
And
Multi-cam.
I'm just saying it because
30
I almost certainly won't be able to go there, and it does sound like it could be quite funny.
We will
Once
certainly
it's
try and
edited,
record
it'll
it
be about
this
30
year.
seconds long.
Well, that was the problem. Well, no, the problem last year was that Russ set his laptop up and then plugged the mixer and the mics in, and then before we started, I went down to just double check that he had the right input set, and he snapped at me. I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just." He's like, it's fine." And then the next day, I get a message. He's like, "I had the inputs wrong, didn't I, on Audacity?" I was like, "Yes, that's what I was checking." So that was unsalvageable, and from what I've heard, it was for the best. It was for the best that none of last year's came out. Very libelous after the interval. It got very libelous. So
you can edit
bullet
these
dodged.
things. You can, you know.
But
You
again,
replace yourself with an
and-
AI voice.
some say that would be an improvement. Might give that a go next week. See what happens. Right, but let's
Some say we are already
now.
AI.
See, in my day, that was just a thing that Ali G said. AI. Gentle comedy tonight. They can't all be winners like the Khashoggi joke. That's all I'm saying. So from the distant past that was 2019 to the very recent past that was the 14th of October 2023. So you've got I can remember dates as well. Take that, Ben. A lovely win at Harrogate on Saturday. Will, thoughts? Go.
Routine, really, to the point where I actually had to double check who we played and what the score was before coming on, because I was like, I know we won and I know it was comfortable, but I've forgotten almost everything about the game. I love JK trying to give Louis Barry the second goal.
I mean, as someone who had a bet on Louis Barry to score, I was not
you
a fan
agreed.
of that.
I saw the tweet. Yeah.
Fuming.
Yeah, I bet. I think I had him to score on my fan hub, but I got 11 out of 11 anyway, so it was fine. And I got Ryan Crosdale's booking.
Same.
He just better not get booked again because we don't have cover. Why that was a penalty, I don't know.
No, it wasn't
Very
a pen.
strange.
Definitely wasn't a pen.
Like, I would
Maybe the
love
referee
to
had
see
3-1.
Well, I'm wondering if, because I've seen someone suggest that the liner gave it, but I haven't been able to see a video clip anywhere of what the liner does at that point. But the ref should not have. If the liner's given it, I can sort of see if the ref's not sure. Liner actually has a worse view, but the liner's like, yeah, because I can see how where they were, they might think it was a foul. But where the ref was, which was the same view as the camera, it's like he's got the ball and then the guy's fallen over. It's not a pen.
I mean, some of us had an accumulator on teams to win and both teams to score. So I was at that point, Salford were a goal up at Wrexham and nothing could possibly go wrong. And then go to
should have cashed out. You should have cashed out 5 minutes before full time.
Yeah.
Knowing that it was Wrexham and they were losing by 1, and you should have cashed out.
I know.
Is your own fault.
Yeah. Don't think I've not been saying that to myself in my sleep every single night since. Like, just everyone else absolutely killed it for me, and then that happens, and I should have just cashed out and then made me a cup of tea, not gone. Oh, I'll go and make a cup of tea and think about cashing out like a dickhead. But yeah, it's good to see. It's very much been a hallmark of our last couple of promotions is getting the game won in the first half
Mhm.
and then being able to rest players, make subs, conserve energy. Do you think that's fair? That's a fair assumption, Waggy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that the first goal. I mean, that was how did Sars score from that angle? That was. I mean, it was quick thinking by Southam Hales. Quick throw over the top and took out 3 of their players, and then Sars to put it in from there was just absolutely unbelievable. But again, it was another Sars masterclass, wasn't it? He was absolutely astounding all over the pitch. He was just brilliant. Again, head and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah, I almost don't want to tempt fate with Sars because we've had this before, but it genuinely seems he's getting into a proper run of games now. We've got that midfield 3 that's been so crucial to us is back and fully fit now. But Collar looks a different player to how he did end of last season.
Last 4 or 5 games, Collar's been amazing.
Didn't Challoner say in an interview recently that Collar's fully fit for the first time, basically since non-league?
Yeah,
he was carrying something basically all of last season, just at different points, and it shows. And I think there's a lot been made of the switch from a back 5 to a back 4, and I think we are definitely, with the players that we have available, I think we are suited more to a back 4 at the moment. But I do think getting those 3 together consistently is key to this. And the run really started when that was able to happen. I think the first game that they all did, like pretty much a full game together, was the Wimbledon game. I think because I think, did Powell start as well?
Powell went off injured, didn't he? When he should have had the penalty, got injured from that tackle, and he went off. Then I think didn't he? Was that when?
That was Walsall.
That was Walsall. Sorry, that was Walsall. Wasn't it?
Powell scored against MK.
Yeah, but yeah, the 3 of them just their games complement each other. They understand each other and where when one's going to go and when one's going to sit, and just Powell scored at MK Dons, so. Or are you saying? I think he's saying that he got injured. Yeah. Just the way that those 3 mesh is superb, and then I think as well, just Odin Bailey is just.
Yeah, I was going to say he was close to. I mean, all he was missing was the goal, wasn't it, on Saturday for Bailey, and that one there where he hit it from the edge of the area, that was like that was class. But yeah, again,
he's not allowed
considering he was a very underwhelming last day signing. Everybody was like, why have we signed him? What do we need him for? But he's slotted into the team and plays well, sort of sitting behind the back 2 and interchanging the stuff with Barry and stuff. And again, he was excellent on Saturday. He was absolutely brilliant. And he sort of, I think he does sort of remind me of a bit of a Hippolyte type player. I know he's obviously left-footed and stuff like that, but he does remind me of that type of player, that he is versatile, that he can, play in a few positions. Because I think it was at Accrington when we dropped to a back 5 and he went like left wing back. He dropped in as left wing back, and again he still looked comfortable there. But I think Saturday was his best game that he's had, but he's been improving every time that he's been playing as well.
It's nice that we've gone from being underwhelmed by the signing to looking at what's going to happen in January when his loan's up.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd imagine there's possibly a cash plus player deal to be done. There might be a couple of players we might look to get off the wage bill, and maybe something will work out in that respect. But you'd imagine he's clearly not fancied at Salford if they were that happy to let him go.
That's the strange thing is how could he not fit in or be a part of, like, not even getting on the bench at Salford?
I think it's something, from what I've seen, something to do with the falling out between him and their manager, which means what we could really do with is Salford playing okay to the point where they don't get rid of their manager until after January. Because I have a feeling that if he's gone in January, they will have another look at Bailey. But if he's yeah, if he's gone in January, they'll have another look at Bailey. But if he's still there, I think we have a better shot of possibly making the deal permanent.
Yeah, he's out of contract at the end of the season anyway, isn't he? So
Yeah.
I think they might want to try and get some cash for him. Yeah, I can't see him. I can't see him going back. But unless, as you say, unless they get a new manager and he sees what he's doing at County, and then he thinks, oh well, he can come in and do a job for us.
What we should do, because I mean, the rumor going around is that Roy Keane is going to be next Salford manager, possibly. He's been spending a lot of time there. He's been getting involved a fair bit. So the talk is that he's going to be next manager. But I don't know if you've heard this, but when Keane was manager of Sunderland, he wanted to sign Robbie Savage. So he phoned Savage up, and it went to voicemail. And Robbie Savage's voicemail was him going, "What?" And Roy Keane just put the phone down.
I have heard that, yeah.
So we need to get Odin Bailey.
We need Bailey to
what's
take
the
his
modern day equivalent of that?
message.
Just do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's still obnoxious.
Yeah.
It would still wind him up.
Yeah.
So Odin, if you're reading, then get that done for us. Does anyone still change? I don't use voicemail, me. I've got God knows how many voicemail messages, and I just don't. It's always someone selling something. I don't bother.
I listen to every voicemail that I've got, partly because I have a thing of I don't answer unknown numbers. So if it's important, I want someone to leave a voicemail so that I know who they are and that it is important. I only stopped doing outgoing messages when I didn't want to get a second SIM card for work under a different name. So I didn't want to explain in my outgoing message that I have two names. So I just have the default one now. But I did used to do personal messages because it encourages people to actually leave a message.
Mine's
the end of the day is when I
company
actually
phone,
wanted
so,
people to come.
Yeah, mine's a company phone, so I have to have a message that's there. I've not listened to my own message for a long time, but I do always look at listen to my answer phone messages because generally they're from customers and stuff.
For all we know, your outgoing message could be "Where's that?"
Many years ago, I was
hoping for Keane to sign me.
I did do silly, jokey outgoing messages when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And I stopped when I had a boss trying to get hold of me. And my message at the time was something like, "You'll hear from me if I can be asked," or something like that. And he got the hump and I got bollocking for it. So I stopped doing the jokey ones. Even though it was my personal number, it wasn't like it was a work phone. It was my own number. But yeah.
I stopped doing it when, so I must have been about 18, 19. I used to have like jokey ones. And then my mum had to phone me to tell me that my granddad had died. And I just thought of her having to sit through. I think what it might have been the same. I might have had the same one since I was like 13. And it was me saying, "Oh, I'm not available right now. But if you follow this message, if you follow these instructions," and then it was a clip of Craig David singing, "Please leave a message after the tone." and I just imagine having to sit through that to let me know some grave news. Just horrible, isn't it?
I mean,
that is.
I wouldn't have
all over.
I wouldn't have left the voicemail personally. I don't think that's how you break that kind of news to somebody.
Well, no, she left a voicemail saying, "Can you give me a ring?"
Cool.
Okay,
Fine,
yeah.
fine.
And then I assumed she just wanted something picking up from the shop, so I didn't ring her back. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like it doesn't even hit the top 100 in the list of my my life's regrets. I'd say not cashing out on Saturday is higher than it. not saying he was a horrible man or anything.
I had us to lose to Bradford and could have cashed out a couple of minutes before we equalised, and I just assumed that we were going to lose again. So yeah.
Just goes to show gambling's for mugs.
And that's why I do it.
Winner. There's only one winner with gambling, and that's the bookies.
Having been a bookie, that is completely true. Completely true.
Unless,
right, what else have gone?
Unless if Donald Trump opened a bookie, given that he is the only man who's managed to bankrupt casinos. So yeah.
What a twat. What? So We also have a couple of awards. Not for us. Well, never say never, because
Well.
it's start of November. Me and Russ are off to the Northwest Football Awards to rub shoulders with the great and good. Well, I say that they're just going to put us on a table in the corner as the only actual football fans in the room. They'll just stick us in the corner and leave our award till last. You've had your dinner now. Piss off home, lads. That'll do. But a couple of county awards. Was it the EFL award, or was it just the League Two award? Challenger Manager of the Month and Louis Barry Player of the Month.
Yeah, and Louis Barry got the EFL Young Player of the Month. So we got the League Young Player of the Month. Like the whole.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should like give us one of them and like just put it. They look good in the background. Them.
I can get. I've got space. I can put it somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have one each. I mean, when Dave Challoner inevitably gets it every month from now until the end of the season, I'm sure he'll be happy to like offload a couple of them. Good little auction that. Shall we put? I've got a feeling I've missed something big, but I can't think what.
We've talked about Grimsby. We've talked about Harrogate. We've talked about
Score
Louis
predictions for Grimsby.
We've talked about the
Luke.
crimes of Levi Belfield. What more can you want from a League Two podcast?
No, I didn't want you to bring it up again. I'd completely forgotten about it.
I didn't. It's been up here. It's up here. Let's put some stuff in the reses first.
Oh, I do have something for the reses.
Go on, you can go first then. Excellent.
DHL. Nick knows. DHL are, I would say, 75% of the reason why I missed last night and why I'm still in Surrey. They can get to fuck. AirTags, on the other hand, are brilliant. AirTags. I'm a full convert to AirTags.
AirTags out of the reses and DHL. Yeah. But if DHL aimed to go in the reses, they'd end up like on a railway line near Falkirk somewhere, wouldn't they? So.
Funnily enough, that is one of the stations that the bag in question ended up at.
No, I listen. Good listener. That's something else. That's something else the women say. Good listener as well. Good listener. I just don't want you to listen to me.
Good listener, but when you open your mouth, it's awful.
Yeah, good listener, bad talker.
Yeah, know the feeling.
That's I'm putting that on my Tinder bio. Excellent. Needs something to jazz it up. God Almighty. Yes, I fully agree. Given the heartache you've shared with me that you've gone through having to deal with that,
it's been all consuming. I've been losing sleep.
Robbed you of your best years of your life.
Oh no, they're long gone. They are long gone.
Join the club. These Tinder bios are just writing themselves these days, aren't they?
Dad bod without the responsibility. That's what belongs on mine.
Well, I might try that. Can I use some of your pictures as well?
No. Absolutely not.
Go and scam some grannies. Waggy, what are you putting in the reses?
Give me a couple of minutes. If you've got one for the reses, you go for it, and I'll try and have another think.
I have, but I'm trying to think whether I've done it before or not. I mean, it doesn't stop Peter Kay, does it? Really? He's done it all before, and he's going back doing it again. Now, hopefully, you'll be able to remind me whether I've done it or not. Fans shouting for players to shoot when they get the ball 25 or 30 yards out.
Yeah.
When Ryan Crowsdale gets the ball and someone shouts, "Shoot!" No.
I think you have done this because you mentioned Crowsdale about that same thing.
Still annoys me, clearly.
But I think it's worth reiterating. It winds me up as well. Yeah.
Then it's always followed by when the shot inevitably goes over the bar. It's always followed by, "What the fuck are you shooting from there for?" It's like, because you told me to. I'm very malleable.
I very rarely like shots from outside the box. they don't come off. They don't come off the majority of the time. When they do, it's great, but usually there's a better option. And yeah, there are times when it's acceptable and it happens and we miss and I go, okay, yeah, no, I see why he's gone for that. But there are times where I'm like, there was a pass on. There was somebody who could have been in the box and we're trying to, not a fan. Not a fan.
Well, as a quick aside, while Waggy's getting prepared for what he's going to put in the reses, favourite / best county goal from outside the box. That's a good one, that, isn't it? That's a good little. So
Gleeson.
Paul Cook and Stephen Gleeson, top two, surely. Glenn Rule at Nuneaton.
No.
Mulhern.
Glenn Rule is on my list of county players that I don't like, and there's not a very long list of county players that I don't like. He should have been bounced out of the club from the moment that he bit an opposition player.
He had nice hair though, didn't he?
He didn't. I sat behind him at Solihull when he was suspended, greasy as fuck. So, yeah.
I think that was me, mate. I think he was playing that day, mate.
No, he wasn't. He was suspended. And Robinson. That's the one. That's the one where Robinson got sent off for some kind of
the pitch.
altercation with the linesman. And I still maintain that whatever he did happened before he came on the pitch, and we should have been allowed to bring on a different substitute. But we were never going to win that game because someone I went to school with played for Solihull. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cy Lomas, as suggested, Adam Proudlock for his hat-trick against Wrexham on an absolute pudding of a pitch, if I remember rightly. That's a good shout. Chris Crowther says Gleeson, or again Proudlock. Crowsdale against Chesterfield is a left field shout. But was that not deflected? I'm imagining that was deflected now, in which case you lose points for that, don't you?
Depends on the deflection. If it's a hilarious deflection, then it gains points. But if it's just like if it's come off someone's nose or their backside, then yeah, great. But if it's just...
any of Jeff King.
Yes. Yes, that is the trauma with if Chesterfield got this season. Yay for Ash Palmer, but it makes Jeff King happy.
That's a good shout. Keane, Keane against Needham Market.
Keane versus Needham Market. Keane versus Southport, as we discussed last night at Stockport.
Mulhern against, was it Dover?
Yeah. Dover away,
yeah, Dover away, or Rooney against Rochdale.
No,
from the halfway line.
I don't like him, so.
No. Well, yeah, okay.
File him in the Glen Rule cabinet.
Yeah, Sars versus Mansfield, even though they scored like 2 goals within 3 minutes of us taking the lead.
Silomus has got a fantastic shout. The goal that was shown on Brazilian TV, Paul Ware against Carlisle. We've got Danny Lloyd against Brackley. Probably the best short corner in county history, I think. But all the people who whinge about short corners, I want to show them that goal and be like, that's how you do it. But that was a bit of a double-edged sword, that one, because that was FA Trophy, so it gave us a away game on the Tuesday night,
which we lost.
Yeah, I think that's the least I've ever celebrated a worldie of a goal.
A last minute worldie equaliser. It had everything, but it was in the FA Trophy against Brackley. Yeah. Shame.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what we did miss. FA Cup draw. I knew there was something big. Dream draw. Now you're talking.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yes, definitely.
That can go in the reses as well. People saying, "Oh, I want Portsmouth away in round 1." No, you don't, because that's a terrible draw in round 1.
I am a fan. It's my birthday if it happens on the Saturday. But I know that Ben Walker doesn't want it to be on the Saturday because it's also his wife's birthday, and quite a milestone one from what I understand as well. So he can't get out of that. But yeah, it gives me an excuse to stay in Stockport for another week. So yeah, I'm a fan. A winnable game. We do need to take it seriously because we know as well as anybody from being at both ends of it that cup upsets happen. But yeah, I'm a fan. I would like us to win, and then I would like Chesham United in the second round because of the Alex Horn Taskmaster connection. And that is the second Taskmaster reference I've got into this podcast tonight.
And it's fairly local for you as well. So
yeah, Cheshire is relatively local. Not as local as the Taskmaster House, though, from my understanding. But yeah,
we'll ahead of that. So when we played Cheshunt in, I think was it the Trophy when we played Cheshunt, we had one of their fans on, and he was actually a Spurs fan. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and get a Worksop fan on. Shall we take guesses now at who else they support?
Well, so I joined their private Facebook group because I'm a massive nerd and they don't have a forum, and I do like going on opposition forums. And they do, like, there does seem to be a few hardcore fans where that is their team. So hopefully, whoever you get on doesn't have another team, because it makes me sad when they do.
They seem very excited about the day out, and that's more than, which gives us the opportunity to sing "You've had your day out, now fuck off home." So, and it actually means something. So that's good. Right, Waggy, before we wrap up, mate, Rezzers, what's going in?
I've got nothing. I went off on a tangent of goals scored from outside the area. So,
I do apologise.
Sorry,
I do apologise for actually bringing some football chat into the
into the football podcast,
into the football podcast. Right, that's just about the best place to wrap it up. Thank you for joining me.
I did a thing.
He got a vinyl out, harking back to the good old days. Since I'm not getting mine back.
Bit of Enter Shikari, the only record that I own.
I
was supposed to get signed at a meet and greet that I never went to, so that was fun.
I mean, when you've got, I mean, some people would get like Abbey Road by the Beatles and be like, I do not need to buy another album now. But you've gone for Enter Shikari.
I don't own a record player, and it was literally because you had to buy a record to get to go to the meet and greet.
That's what they do now, yeah.
Yeah, and I already owned the CD, so I was like, well, I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy a vinyl. Like, apparently it's a nice color, but I haven't opened it. So,
I like it with a nice color. Yeah. It's good that. Oh, it's a good way to end that. Yeah. I personally think it's going. I'm sure Ofsted will be in tomorrow to give me the verdict. But yes, good place to have. We will be back to normal programming next week, Wednesday night at 8, where we're going to look back at the defeat to Grimsby and look forward to us getting back to it at home to Tranmere in the big. Maybe we'll even try and find a Tranmere fan as well.
Crew as well on Tuesday.
We've got Crew on Tuesday to cover as well. Yeah. Oh God Almighty, they're fucking insufferable bastards, aren't they?
This is why I would actually be okay with a draw against Grimsby, because then the winning run comes to an end against Grimsby, and we can then get back to winning ways against Crew. I mean, ideally we win both, but at some point we're going to drop points, and I would rather drop points to Grimsby than Crew. So.
I'm also holding out hope that the Notts County home game over Christmas will be televised. That you'd think that'd be prime TV fodder, that, but they've just announced their games up to the week before that have been televised, and they're not all championship games, obviously. Oh, and
yeah,
anyone thinking we're going to
go any until it's International Week early.
Oh, so that's March then, isn't it? Oh, we've got one more International Week in November, haven't we?
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of internationals, I see the Premier, they've bowed to pressure from the so-called Big Six and the abolishing replays in the FA Cup third and fourth round.
Yeah.
All these little ways that competitions have been devalued annoy me. But that has just taken it to a new level. I'm furious.
There you go. That can get in the reses as well. That
would be mine.
That can get in the reses. Unanimous.
There we go.
Imagine getting just and then I've seen fans of big clubs saying, "Well, why don't they just do it so that the smaller team is drawn at home?" I think they do it in the early rounds of the cup in Germany. Like the amateur sides get a home game, like possibly against Bayern Munich or whatever. But if you get drawn against Man United at home, a lot of the time it's more fun.
Yeah, you're not going to make as much money as going to their place.
So will we go back to the old days of getting I mean, I believe that's what we did in '78 when we got United in the League Cup. We switched it to Old Trafford because of the payday. It's like,
Yeah.
are we going to go back to the days of that? I remember that happening in the late '90s, early 2000s as well. I remember some non-league team. I think it might have been West Ham or someone they got, and they decided to play it at Upton Park instead. I may have misremembered that, but I'll get on that for next week. But yeah, there's already talk as well of moving a couple of the rounds to midweek as well.
I've seen that as well. Yeah. Whereas what they should be doing is fixing the National Cup competitions by giving them Champions League places and taking them away from third and fourth in the Champions League, played by the team who finished fourth in the division.
And sometimes won by the team that finished fourth in the division as well. Annoyingly. But why is it? When it was just the champions in it, it was called the European Cup. And then they let any Tom, Dick or Harry into it and they call it the Champions League. Well, no, it's
And
not.
isn't it next year where they go to like 32 teams or something?
And some
they were
weird,
playing in January from next season.
weird
Champions League.
single group where everybody's in one division, but
top 16 go through and the next 8 play off against each other or something.
Yeah, and you play 8 games instead of 6, 2 of which are in January. January is not a Champions League month. January is FA Cup month. That's what January is. Just the older I get, the more I think I'm turning into Mark Lawrenson, and it's worrying. It's worrying how comfortable I am with it. I remember one year they had well, very much so. I can drink a pint of Guinness very quickly. They had him and John Motson also game. John Motson was talking about all these. I think they'd done something in one of the newspapers. Had done like a consultation on like these big football figures, asking them how they changed the game. And John Motson mentions it to Mark Lawrenson, and Mark Lawrenson's like, "Just leave the game alone. Just leave it. It's fine as it is. Just leave it alone." And I laughed at it at the time, and he was completely right. He was a sage for our times. On that note, let's leave it there because I could talk about Mark Lawrenson all night long. I love that man. Right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, the readers, for joining us, more importantly. And we will see you next week. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. This episode of the Scarf Bagara War was written, recorded, and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out the links in the description or go to allthews, scarfbagarawar.co.uk.